Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Chetan Kumar, and in today's video we are diving into Alteryx Input Tool Palette, a crucial feature that helps you get data into your workflows. Whether you're working with files or databases or web-based data source, you require this tool. So mastering this input tool will save you time and make your workflows more efficient. So in this video, we'll not only talk through each of these tools, but I'll also share some tips and tricks to help you get more benefits from this particular video. So let's get started. So this is Alteryx interface. If you want to know more about Alteryx interface, you can look into my previous video. So where I've explained about how an interface looks like. Before we start the video, it's very important to know how an Alteryx interface looks like, so you can learn better from Alteryx. So let's get started with the input tool palette. So as you can see, these are called palettes. As you can see on top, it's input, preparation, joins. These are palette. Today we are going to deep dive into input and output palette. So let's click on input. So let's start with input data rule. This is the first tool that we'll start learning. So let me show you how this particular tool works. So if you click on this particular tool, it shows you setup a connection. So this setup a connection helps you to connect to files, like different formats of files, different formats of different types of databases, cloud-based databases like web-based databases. So today we are going to only see the Excel file, but I'll show you how you can go ahead and select those files. So as you can click, as you click on the setup connection, it'll show you all the files that you have recently worked on. So it shows you in the recent list. So if you have already used recently, then it's easy for you to just click on that file and load it. You don't have to go and select or search anywhere if the file is available in that location. Next is the file. So these are different formats. Alteryx support a lot of formats. So that's the very good thing about this particular tool with respect to data source and files. It supports a lot of different formats. So these are different formats that's available. And if you want to look for a particular format, you can just click on, for example, if I want to look an Excel file, I can just click on Excel file. If you want to look on CSV, you can click on CSV file, the text for file, or any other file that you feel that's required for your day use of that can help you to minimize your daily efforts. You can use those file formats and just do all basic cleaning and modification in Alteryx. So let's and third one is data source. So these are different data source that is connected to Alteryx. So you have a huge variety of data, so you can select from the all the range of databases that it can connect. So but there's a tip. So before you connect to a database, you always require a ODBC setup on your system, and you make sure you're selecting the correct ODBC. So there should be a ODBC system setup on your system. The drivers installed for that particular database is required for loading the data in Alteryx. So be mindful of that. If you are loading the data, you should know that you need to have the setup complete before you access database. Server is web-based database, so this helps you to connect to web-based database. So if you're working in a company, you'll have different environments like QA environment, development environment, production environment. So the data source that lies in those particular environment will be available here for you to select. Today we are going to select the Excel file. So let's click on Excel file and click on one of the Excel file. So if you select an Excel file, you get an option to select sheets. So Excel has an option to add multiple tabs, right? You can select tabs from here, the sheets from here. But if it is CSV file, it will not allow you. It will just show you one. So if you click OK, so you have the data. Now data is loaded. Now this is an option. This is the preview window. So as soon as you load the data, you can validate whether the data that you have loaded is correct or not. So this is just a preview window. It shows just 100 records, as you can see here, and based on that, you can decide whether the data that you have selected is correct or it's useful for you. or the tab that you have selected is correct or not. Next is a record limit. So for example, if you click here, it doesn't show anything. Let me run it once. So as you can see, it shows 750 records are there in this particular file. For example, it's not 750. In case it's a very large data set, maybe 2 billion records, and you don't want to look into 2 billion records, you want to just develop the data to test it, or just look into the data to understand the data. So you don't require to read in 2 million records for that. So what you can do is just mention a limit. For example, if I mention a limit of 10, and if I run the workflow, so it'll just show me the top 10 records. That's it. Now if I remove this, so it'll show again all 750 records. As you can see, 750 records displayed. Now let me explain you about input tool. The file format. File format helps you to understand which particular file you have loaded. It's an Excel file, CSV file, or any other file format that you have loaded. Sheet. So sheet, it doesn't show up in all the formats. It's showing in Excel because Excel does have option to have multiple tabs. That's the only reason. So if you have a sheet selected, for example, if you preview the data and the data sheet, this is not a sheet that you're looking for. If there are 20 sheets and you want to select on a different sheet, you can just click here, the three dots, and just go ahead and select the sheets and click OK. Even this helps you to get even all the sheets. Just import all the sheets. You click on import all the sheets and click run. It'll show you which particular sheet you are looking for, or what are the if you want to know what sheets do you have, you can just you'll get the list of sheets available here. But as of now, we are just looking for we have only one sheet available, so we are just looking for the data. So we just click on the particular sheet that we are looking for. Next is if you want to search for subdirectories, you can even search for subdirectories. And even if for example we have output file name as field, it is marked as no. But for example, if you want to know what file name, for example, if you have the data or date available in your file name, it's not available in your record. As you can see, we don't have any date available in our record, but in our file name we do have a date available. How do you extract those date? So if you want to extract those date from the file, you just click on file only, file name only, or you want a full path, you can extract full path and click on run. So this will give you the file name. If the file name contains a date, or if these numbers start before underscore is required in your data and it's not available inside the data, now you have it here, right? You can use this data as it is. Or if you want to know, like you should or you want to know from where the file was loaded, so you can just mark it as full path, so it will show the entire location of the file. So if you want to know where we have loaded the data, it shows you the entire location with respect to where it is saved, what sheet number, file name you have loaded in your data. Next is if you want to know, for example, this first row, as you can see, it's volunteer name, group, and file name. If you feel that these are not the headers, these are data. By mistake, some file doesn't have header, so Alteryx by default consider that one as your header if it doesn't have a header. So for those scenarios, you can just click on this and just run and click on OK. So as you can see, it moved the first line that was a header as a first line. So now it is not, but as of now in our data set, this is a header, but in your scenario, if you don't, you can use this. Next is start data import on line 1. If you want to import the data from line 1, let me just uncheck this one and then look into the next scenario. Now it's mentioned as start data import on line 1. Now it is this is called this line 1, and if you feel that in some scenarios, if you feel that this is not the data, this is the header for you. So what you can mention is just mention here you want to start from line 2 and run. So as you can see previously this was your line 1, but now this is line 1 and this is marked as header. So in different scenarios you can use different formats, but this is one way to know how you can use Alteryx. If you click on that, back to header and you have line 1 is as it is. So this is a small intro on how you can use an input tool. Let's understand more about different tools that we have it here. So next tool, let me discuss on in date time tool. So let me tell you a use case for this. We got the input tool. You don't have the date available in that location. You have option to pull from the file, but you want to know on which particular day your workflow ran. So the person or the stakeholders knows that, or your client knows that this particular day the data was refreshed. So now if they want if the new data available, they want to re-refresh it. So based on this, they can understand, okay, which particular day it has ran. For that, what we can do is just get a select tool, and let me get a select tool even here so I can show you what is happening here. So now it is by default it will be always in hour, minute and second. So it just gives you time. You can date time, you can take year, month and day. For example, if I want to check today's date, for example, it's uh, 11 24 11 2024, and I want that date itself. So if I click on the date, so it's you have different formats of date that you want. You want in day, with everything time with time. Like some projects are time sensitive. So at this particular time it should run. Next after 10 minutes or 1 hour it should run. So those are time sensitive. For those you can use this with time. For others, you just want to know which particular date, like if it is a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly report, or any yearly one once run. So you can use these formats. So, for example, if I want to check date, month, and year, and if I click on run, so I got the date right, 24/11/24, 24/11/2024, as you can see here. So you have the date. So this tool helps you to get the date field. Now next is a text input. So let me get a text input here. So for example, what I need to do here is I'll show you two scenarios for text input. Let me just write one. I'll just mark it as country and just mark it as US. So the what text input tool does here is text input tool help you to add data on your own. For example, if you are not using date time now, or if you have a mapping file, you want to create a mapping file here. Okay, these are the volunteers, and these all the volunteers are split into these groups, or it belongs to these country. Now how will you specify that? So you can just mention this here. You have different options. This is one way. You can just type the country and data here. For example, if you want to select like only first few records, just copy the headers, and you can drag another input, text input. You can just click on top and do Control V. So it'll just copy paste the data from this file to this file. Whatever file report you had, we just picked 5 or top 6, and it's showing up here. Now I'll show you how we can work through this. So these are different scenarios I'm mentioning about different tools in input tool palette. Now if I consider this as a primary input for me. Now for this particular input, if I want to do an append, like if I want to add date to each and every record, do a Cartesian join. So we just get an append, and we just get an append tool. Connect both to the append tool and click on run. So what it does is append tool it does a Cartesian join. So this is the date. This date is entered in front of each record that's coming from. There's 750 records. There are 750 records, but everything is having this date time now. So every record is marked as okay. This entire record set was ran on this particular date or today's date. Now, if this entire set of records belongs to a mapping file, for example, this all belongs to US, for example, if you get another append tool here and you connect to this and connect to this, and now if you just run, it show you US here. Now, even if there is a different way of representing it, you can even do another append tool, and you have marked US here. You can just append to the existing data. So for example, you have already loaded the data here where you are getting the date field, right? Now, if you want to get this, what do you call the country? So if you run again and click on this, as you can see, now you have with country. So as you can see, you have datetime now and country, everything in one place. Now, if you want, for example, this is a mapping file and you have this volunteer and other details available here. Now, if you want to know about country, and for example, this belongs to US, this belongs to Canada, this belongs to India, this belongs to China, this belongs to Russia, or any European countries, and just click on run. Now you want to map this volunteer to all the records that's available here. Whichever is matching, they should join. So if you click on join, and if you just get something called join tool, pull the data from and connect to the left, and connect this from the right, and select the volunteer. Now we are joining it on the volunteer ID. You need to join it on the primary key itself. Deselect anything if that is duplicate here. And next, let's connect to an pull an input tool. I always use an input tool, so that helps me understand the data type. So sometimes what happens is, like for example, this is marked as double, and if it is an ID, if you want to change it to string, for example, if I change it to v string, and if I want to do the same thing for this, for example, this is marked as in32, it won't join, right? Double and in32, it won't join. So if you want to say, put it in the same format. So now if you just add all the browse tools and click on run, as you can see, the ones those we have marked are joined, and they have all the country marked, and these are the data sets that joined to that mapping file. So these you can select as it is, like these are the records that joined the mapping file. These are ones that did not join. So you have different scenarios over there. Why did not join? The different questions that you can ask when you're analyzing the data. So this is one way to analyze your data set. And next, moving on to the next input tool. So next input tool is I'll first explain the browse tool. So browse tool is a very powerful tool. So for example, if you want to see the data in the join, right, you see only these data sets. But if you want to see the data that's inside the data, what's the format? What's the issue with the data? For example, some are marked in yellow, some are marked in green. It doesn't specify anything, but you want to know what it is. You have to click on browse tool. Let's go to this group. It has yellow and green line, right? Let's see what does that represent. If you get this group, click on this. What it is showing up here is there are 4 records, those are okay. So these are unique records. There are 2 null values. So we have total 6 records. In that 4 are unique, 2 are null values, right? So as you can see, sorry, it's two null values. You can see these are the 2 null values. These are the these are 4 okay values, or 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 4 okay values. And you even get the sum, median, variance, and different calculation that by default is done by browse tool. So browse tool is very powerful to understand about the data. And let's understand about the directory tool. So directory tool helps you to extract all the data from a location. So these are the input tools that helps you extract only one data at a time. But if you have like multiple Excel files, multiple CSV files, or multiple different files in one location, and if you want all the files from that location, how do you get that? Just get a directory tool. You can use this is the location of the file where it is saved, and this is the format. So this is mentioned as star dot star, means star is the name of the file, dot another star is the extension of the file, Excel, CSV, or any format. So if I run the file now, let me show you file. If I run the file now, as you can see, we have different formats of file: PDF file, Excel file, exe file, zip file. We don't need all the file, and if you are looking for like only Excel files, let me just mention the XLSX, that's the file format, and anything that starts with 47 and star, it should can be start with 47, and anything after that is marked as star, and click on run. So as you can see, we have got all the 4 records here. So we are able to extract all the 4 records, and there is a file name. As you can see, there is no data, right? What creation date, last of time, last access time, and everything is, you get all the details here within the directory tool. Now what we can do is, for example, let me select only one file as of now. So let me select only the first file. Okay, if I run this file, so the thing with directory tool is it just gives you the overall value data about the file, but to read this particular file you need another tool. So let me grab an input tool first, and then click on dynamic input tool. So what it does is, dynamic input tool takes that particular tool, takes that particular input, whatever is coming from directory tool, even it is multiple files, but the file format should be same. If it is 2022, 2023, 2024 files, and the file format should never change. That should be same. Then only it is going to work. So you have to just click on edit. Again, you get the same window for to select the file. Just go ahead and select the file. Like for example, we are looking for this file. If you click on this file and click on OK, and click on OK. So if we have selected this particular file, we are going to just read those. It is throwing an error because we have to do some more changes. So now we need to select the full path and just make it as change entire file path, and just click on run. So now you get till here you are getting only file name, but as you use dynamic input tool, it changes and gives you entire 750 records that you are getting here. So dynamic input tool also helps you to extract. This is one, but you can this helps you to extract data from multiple file from the same location. If there are 10 Excel files in one location or the same format, you can use this particular process. Use directory tool to get all the Excel file from that particular location, star.xlsx, and use dynamic tool to read all the file from that location. It'll read and give you the entire file. So this is the best tool where you have where you can read multiple data sets in from one particular location. And that is all for today. These are the only tools that I wanted to discuss in today's video. We'll look into different tools going ahead, and like preparation tool, join. There are different tool palettes that we will be looking into it, and I'll explain everything in depth. And if you have any doubts, you can just leave a comment and I'll get back to you with the answer. That's all for today's session. Thank you for today.